Mr. Walton, did you make contact with aliens? Were you taken to another planet, to a mothership? How did they communicate with... Can you tell me what they look like? Can you tell me how many of them there were? Were you given food?
But the teachers are alive. They're not books. They are the very living essences of nature itself.
What a strange person.
Unbelievably powerful supercomputer that's running our reality, and we don't have a clue as to how to operate it.
So when maybe you or somebody else creates an AGI system and you get to ask her one question, what would that question be?
What's outside the simulation?
Say in your mind, say to yourself, I am more than my physical body, because I am more than physical matter. I can perceive that which is greater than the physical world.
Do not know all the answers to the questions about reality. Do not claim to know the ultimate truth about life. I see that which has been made hidden. As a part of a family that explores the consciousness. I live what not.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Welcome to Lighting the Void.
Broadcasting from a shack on a hill in the mossy creek bottoms of Cane Creek, Arkansas. This is Lighting the Void. I'm your host, Joe Roop. It is that time again. Cosmic Conditions with Mary Dusina. Man, and I don't even know how to talk. I don't even know how to introduce this one because this is some big time stuff, big time energy. I hope all of you guys are starting to enjoy your weekend. Thank God it's Friday. If I mumble, if I speak with a lisp, I'll just blame it on Mercury retrograde like everybody else, right? It's Mercury retrograde. We can blame it on that. And anytime anything goes wrong, that's what we'll do. No, just kidding. But yeah, thank you for joining us tonight. We do this every new moon with Mary. Mary is like the mother of the show here now, pretty much. And so most of you are very familiar with Mary. When we open the phones up, you can call in at 1-800-588-0335. We've got a pretty important message, and plus she's got to go through the signs and all that before we start taking your phone calls. So if you want to jump in early and hang out, that's fine, but you're going to be waiting a while. The website, if you want to visit her website and get her specialties or readings or any one-on-ones, which I highly recommend if you want to actually change your life and do what's good for you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You go to marydusina.com. It's MARYDUSINA, marydusina.com. And Mary has been here for, good God, how long have we been doing the show now, Mary? It's over like 2 years. 2 years?
2 years as of this solstice. 2 years, my love. 2 years.
That is a long time. That's the longest, other than a couple, maybe one person that's ever been, well, no, that's the longest anybody's ever done a regular show with me like this. So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Booyah.
Yeah, right. So you're used to
Team
doing
Lighting the Void. Team Lighting the Void. Consistency. People need to rely on you. People need to know the mystics in the house at a predictable time. As you know, as we've said many times, beautiful, beautiful tribe of light. We're that voice in the late night. Of course, there's different time zones, but on my time zone, it's the midnight hour. Of course, being a mystic, I would pick the midnight hour. So I'm happy to be able to be that. You can be anonymous whenever you call in or you have a question. You can make up a name I don't need your birth date. I'm not doing the astrological thing. This, when we open it up, I know enough after 35 years of the astrological star language that I can talk to you without having to have the year and all of that. It's just when you've had boots on the ground for 35 years, and that's just this incarnation, then you're able to talk right into the soul star and go right into the hub of what's going on with it, which is wonderful. I'm very glad I kept the dedication with my oracle skills and my metaphysical practices all those years and all those decades going, yep, got to do this lifetime. So first I honor Joe
Thank you.
and this wonderful format and the audience and how all of our beautiful energies are a concert in consciousness. And together as that force of light and compassion, we each of us are spokes in the great cosmic wheel, and we raise the bar. We quite simply, magically raise the bar. And each of us, as we know, this is a safe shelter, a safe place to come to for light and safety in the light and harmony and the frequencies of love. And I'm going to open this solstice, Midsummer's Eve, with a blessing. It was requested by 3 people, actually, so that's a sign for me. As we come together, as we listen to the archive, we're making a difference in the world, and that's ever so important at this crossroads, at this solstice. Out of all 6 eclipses of 2020, this is the big enchilada. This is the spicy solstice cocktail. That's what this is, and we'll talk about that. And it's very important that you breathe it in and you drink it in. And this 45 minutes, the first 45 minutes, an hour, and that'll help enhance the answers that you wish to have when you call in the second hour. So I'm humbled, I'm honored, and I thank you. Close your eyes. Breathe in, all of us as that collective consciousness. Just breathe in and silently say to yourself, whether you're listening to this live tonight on Midsummer's Eve 2020, or you're enjoying the archive many times to get even more insights. As you breathe in, just simply sound across the universe, all is now well with my soul. All is now well with my soul. Almighty I am. Almighty I am. Almighty I am, all that is, Great Spirit, Holy Spirit, as above, so below, guardians of the 4 corners, Mother in the earth, Father in the sky, Grandmother Moon, Father Sun, angels, ancestors, holy sacred ones, I call on you and welcome you in this here and now. Almighty I am. Thank you to anyone hearing the vibrations and the frequencies of this show, of the callers, of Joe, of myself, and all of our collective guardian guides, archangels, principalities, thrones, and dominions, seraphim and cherubim. Come, let the shift and our awakening be empowering and yet our harmonious alarm and awakening call. May our shock and awe be in harmony with the prosperity of love, grace, and glory. I call it, I summon it, I allow it, and we now receive it. Aho, and so it is.
Thank you for that, Mary. Yeah.
Thank you for indulging me to do it, because it's not only was I thinking it, and I know all about broadcast and minutes and breaks and all that kind of stuff, but each sign carries its own element, as you know, Joe. A lot of your audience is very savvy. And this is the portal opening, if we knew nothing else, when we come to the sun starting its transit, its dance, in the star language of Moonchild, Cancer the Crab, it's the opening portal of the first of the elements of the water signs, and it's a cardinal sign. It's the second cardinal sign. So we have to recap just for a minute, because all of these signs are in each of your star maps. Some you have planets in, some you have busier zones or houses in. There's busier traffic in those intersections and in those highways and byways. But each of us, as the sun, which is the only constant in astrology, all the other celestial agents and messengers are operating at faster or slower speeds. The sun is the only constant that does that 30-degree, 30-day, 29 to 31-day trek, because there's 12 signs, and they each have 30 degrees, and that makes the 360-degree circle that we measure in Western astrology. So let's back up just for a minute to spring equinox, Ostara of 2020. Aries, in all of our charts, is where we project the spark of the ego. It's the flame, the match that lights the candle that we then can do magic with, or that we light the room with when the power goes out, or we just enjoy, like I'm enjoying my candles and my essential oil, and I'm soaking my feet in wonderful magnesium Epsom salts and the coconut oils in the hair, because Cancer is all about nurturing. So that's what we do. It's time for us to holistically nurture ourselves, and that's a big part of metaphysics and magic. So Aries is the fire of desire. So when we start with the turning of the wheel in the third week of March, between the 20th and the 22nd, depending on leap year or not, every 4 years, we start to feel the fire and the spark and the desire to take action. What action? What motivation, what action do I need to do? And then when we get to Taurus, our first fixed earth element sign, we come in and we start to feel the anchors and the things, the currency, our energy currency, our values and our priorities. And it's time to start to pay attention to the actual physical vehicle, the car we drive, the boat we have, the motorcycle, the horse, whatever it is that takes the body, the earthly temple, from here or there. So when we're in pursuit of pleasure, like Taurus is ruled by Venus, then is it the car that drives us across town? Is it the car that takes us out on the date? Do we go on a boat together with a great group of friends? Do we, go mountain climbing or hiking with our kindred spirits? So it's how we gather and enjoy breaking bread with our kin and our tribe, or those that we cherish the most and we can let our hair down with. Taurus is about, it's an earth sign. It's about familiarity. It's about, I trust you. It's about, it's always easy to be with him or her, or our dog, or our cat, or our bird. Then last month, at the new moon in Gemini, Gemini's ruled by the mercurial element. So it's all about the mind arrows and how we get the point across and how the word moves. Do we sing it? Do we think it? Do we write it? Do we podcast it? Do we keep it? Do we hold secrets? Are we not ready to let that information out? Are we withholding? Are we holding our cards close to our chest? Are we waiting and watching like the bird on the wire? Because Gemini is the air element. It's the sky world. But when we come to the sign of Cancer, slow it down, take that pregnant pause. There's a different kind of creativity that's wanting to flow. And it comes with waters of compassion. It stirs the deep waters of our subconscious. It's the inner child, as well as how our spirit has to remember where its origins were. It's, Cancer is often called the sign that is the gateway of man. And the mystical theory about that is when the actual soul descends from the above worlds and decides to take harbor into a physical vehicle. So it's where the soul is going to come into the womb, the sacred temple of the feminine. It's going to come into the womb, and it's actually going to be in that process of recalibrating and going through a new home, a water home. We're in a water birth if we're carried naturally inside the Earth Mother. And then what happens is once the umbilical cord is cut and we take full residency in the actual Earth vehicle, then we become oxygen creatures. But we were in the natural scheme of humanoid birthing before we got into test tubes and laboratories. Then the actual embryonic is functioning and being fed and thriving and surviving in a successful birth in fluids, in the fluids of the Earth Temple Mother. So Cancer the Crab is about that very soft, tender, fleshy substance inside the ocean crab, inside the earth tortoise, and the human as it's forming in that very fleshy, fluidy type of a thing before the umbilical cord, for that actual cord from spirit into earth is cut and we have to breathe. And 2020 is certainly turning out to be a big emphasis on the respiratory or the breathing, whether it's the First we had the Corona. We had it's an invisible enemy, and it can, droplets are spread through the air, and you can get it in your lungs. Wear a mask, wear a mask, wear a mask, wear a mask, wear a mask. Cover your mouth. Cover your mouth. Be careful where you breathe and what you touch. Clean, 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 clean. The air could be contaminated, and that shifted into the roaring up of, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Get your knee off my neck. I can't breathe. So we've got this, the whole Gemini thing roared that up as far as the division about to mask or not to mask, to come out of quarantine, and what states came out and what countries came out and what didn't, and what were going to be the new transportation rules in Gemini, what states could travel, what borders we could cross, how the airline's going to change, how the motel's going to book. Are the cruise ships still floating off in the water? Yes. So the crews are still on the big Carnival cruise ships, but they're still not allowing them to do that. So the lineup in Capricorn, the great historical, hadn't happened for 700 plus years, caravan of Capricorn stellium that lined up 6-7 planets energizing the sign of Capricorn, rules, anarchy, the foundation, the dictators, the kings, the queens, got activated once we get to this eclipse, because we also had a Capricorn eclipse then, so a lunar eclipse in Capricorn. So we're finishing off a couple of things with this eclipse in the cardinal world point 0 degree Cancer solstice new moon. It's like so big. So what we're finishing off is the 2 years of the sign of Cancer and Capricorn getting their butts kicked with all the eclipses popping around in Cancer Capricorn. So this eclipse finishes off that North Node in Cancer series, which goes back, do the math, which goes back not only for the last 18 and a half months, but hadn't happened when it started in 2018, it had not happened for 19 years. So that throws us back to 2001. Now, in each of our charts, in the United States is born under the sign of Cancer, the crab, moonchild. So we know 2001 was a big game changer in the history of the United States, because that eclipse happened in June, and then we had 9/11 in September. So now we have this other just like historical, radical year. And I've come to begin to understand more with my guides that, people always refer to the main thing of 2020 of like when an eye doctor says, oh, you've got perfect vision, it's 2020. I'm convinced that some people are saying the Mayan thing got dyslexic, and this is really that point that everybody was talking about in 2012. I'm convinced that 2020 is an iconic year in a sense of it's epic for enlightenment and empowerment that each of us are going to, in our collective personal intimate lives, as well as in the external manifest of it with all the laws of frequency and attraction, whatever needs to be looked at, whatever we've not been seeing clearly, the fact that we need to look at it from a new view in a different way. And we looked at, there's been songs in the past that I've looked at life from both sides now, everything that has to do with vision questing. Are you sure you don't want to look at that again? Did you look at that from all sides? Maybe we need to get a new vision about that. I believe that 2020, especially at the end of June when Mars gets into its home harbor of Aries, is about each of us first has to take responsibility to raise the bar and to be that better version of ourselves as we go out into the world and with ourselves. And so we're being shown what's been blindsiding us, what we've not been seeing, how we can all see clearer is this year of 2020. Is it a rough ride? Yeah, cowboy up. It's like we're in a rodeo. It's mayhem and magic all at the same time. Everything about it is intense. But in the truth of things, we're intense. We're very intense, volatile Roman candles in this world. We're forces to be reckoned with. And it's a reason why either aliens or demonic energies want to try to get that sweet spot of our soul, because there's something very rarefied and mystical and magic about being some kind of divine spark spirit that comes and takes on an earth incarnation. And so I believe we're being shown right now with this world point, 0 degrees Cancer, midsummer, solstice, new moon, eclipse, bada boom, bada bing. I believe this is showing us, how are you being reminded and remembering how to nurture and mother yourself? How are you taking care of your soul? Yes, you're in the material world right now. Yes, you're doing a walkabout on our beautiful blue-green jewel of the Earth Mother. Yes, you have to take responsibility and be viable and aware of how you treat the Earth Mother and how you take care of your home that you're spending this incarnation with, but it's all temporal. It's multifaceted and it's temporal. But how are you, beyond you wanting to have the external kiss your butt, make you happy, be the relationship, be the job, give you the money, create the car, the home, all of that you feel like you somehow can accept yourself or fit into societal standards of this generation or blah, 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 whatever. This season, this solstice is about each of us saying, I do love my inner child. I don't care what the details were in my childhood.
Amen to that.
I've licked my wounds. I've come to have a different kind of responsibility of my participation in that with my soul contracts and my karma and my dharma for this lifetime. But I now salute the divine forces, and I'm going to take responsibility for being a good mother and a good father to the residency of my soul. And Cancer the Crab is about, where do we belong? What am I longing for? And how am I going to take the first real empowerment, awakening step of making me okay with me and being compassionate and empathic and realizing the magic of my own worthiness. And when you come to have discourse with that, and when you come to do meditation with that, and when you walk in nature with that, and when the cat's on your lap with that, and when you overview and take a second deeper look at that disease that challenged you, it was the teacher, that breakup, that deception, that betrayal, the selfishness of people that stole your idea or took the money and ran and just really were sociopathic, just hurt, fractured, wounded type of vampirical energies running around, and you've encountered some of those. Let that stand as a teacher and a beacon of how you're not to be. And that's the basis of where we're at in this turning of the wheel of 2020. Cancer is saying, rest, look at your roots. How are you forming your perceptions and your beliefs? It's not about your thoughts now. That was Gemini. It's not about your money and your material possessions and just your working out your body and being, I'm too sexy for my shirt. That's Taurus. So this is about, how am I in my internal wombness? How are my feelings? Am I honoring my feelings? Are my feelings overtaking me? And Cancer's the past. Am I too on autopilot with my past beginning to dominate and dictate the creation of my future? So having an understanding of Cancer's like that video recorder or that tape recorder or when you're doing a voice recorder, everything that you ever felt and created a perception or a memory got anchored in your inner childhood, and it becomes kind of like the Capricorn, the foundation of how, well, I believe this because of that happening, and this is how I felt. So this is the most powerful time of this year for us to really look at, are my feelings flowing, or am I dammed up? Are my emotions too needy, too aloof, too shut down, turned off? How am I doing with expressing, manifesting the things that I feel are pleasurable, that I do very well, and that I bring to the table in my business relationships and in my intimacy? How am I doing with my soul contract? Do I feel like that I've been able to graduate? It's graduation time when we get to June, July. Am I able to graduate from some of the lessons that gripped me over this last 18 and a half to 2-year cycle with the North Node in Cancer and the South Node in Capricorn? It's graduation time.
Some of us might have to stay after for summer school, though. Yeah.
Well, don't worry. Mars in Aries is going to be summer school. Yeah, and then we've got Mercury just turned retrograde, and it's combust the sun, as they say, and it's actually going to be Cazimi, or moving across the face of the sun, right as Mars goes into Aries on June 27th. Then we're going to have Mercury and the sun come together, and then when we come to 2 weeks from now, at our third eclipse in a row, which will be the second lunar eclipse in Capricorn, here we have the parent of us, the elder, the ancestor, the grandparent, that wonderful, wise soul when we were a little kid that we loved hanging out with, that relative that was like way older than us. It was just like, that's cool. We enjoyed being taught by them. So I see this as the new moons are times, they're portals, especially solstice and equinoxes. So this longest day of light in the northern hemisphere is saying to us, this is, and here's the short form of what I'm saying, this is the most powerful program download available of nurturing opportunities coming forth to you, and it runs for 6 months. It takes us all the way to Yuletide, winter solstice, when we come to the Capricorn crossroads. So this is a time to at least do a meditation. It can be open-eyed in nature. You can be, cleansing and clearing and smudging and saging and working with your essential oils and making some natural products. This is a time for you to say, my finger slips into the golden ring. This is solstice, midsummer. Solstice means sun stands still. So this is the celebration of the king, the great king star. And this is our time, especially if you're Cancer, Capricorn, to realize that you are graduating. Of all 12 signs, Cancer and Capricorn are graduating. But here's the deal. When you graduate from elementary school, daycare, junior high, high school, you leave. It's like you may still know the friends, but you got to go. It's like all that bitching you did about having to go and get on the school bus or be at school at 8 o'clock in the morning and homework and all that. It's over. It's like that chapter's over. So now what are you going to do with it? Cancer, the cardinal signs are about action, but Cancer is about learning from our past, learning from our past successes as well as our past mistakes. So if you're a Cancer or a Capricorn, this is epiphany time. This is get out of your own way. This is like stop letting the where or the who or the what continue to be a drag line on and an energy thief of everything that you've got going for you. If it hasn't worked out or gotten better over the last 2 years and you're a Cancer Capricorn or a Cancer Capricorn rising, then you need to understand that the external is going to start manifesting goodbyes for you.
What about Cancer North Node, Cap South Node?
Well, a Cancer North Node is about not letting the child, because it's the inner child and getting our emotional needs met. So the Cancer North Node is about what do I need to do to be my own parent, my own guide, my own mystic, my own magician,
right,
my own self-sustaining. How can I work to make my own self be I'm okay, you're okay kind of a thing. Like I love you, but I'm not going to need you more than I love you, because it's my responsibility to micromanage my emotions and my moods.
Yeah.
Because Cancer's moody, moon. And
you get kicked around enough after a while, giving emotionally. You get kicked, and then you start pointing your finger, going, they did it to me. But no. You did it to yourself because you're not taking care of yourself. That's it.
Well, and see, a Cancer eclipse is, here's the thing with Mercury being retrograde in Cancer. All of those things that we've needed to confront and deal with in our most private, emotional, intimate relationship life, like we may be divorced, we may not, we may have a child, we may, have been putting off dealing with something with setting boundaries with our parents or our kids, or in the mommy daddy stuff going on, all that stuff that we've known, well, actually since, actually because of Jupiter and Pluto coming together, it goes back to 2008. But let's just work with the last 2 years. It intensified over the last 2 years. So 2008, and over the last 2 years, for some of you, those are great emotional marker points of reference. But over the last 2 years, what you knew, what all of us knew, we were going to have to face off with, we were going to have to confront, we were going to have to micromanage and stop shoving it under the rug. I'll dust it later. I'll put that pillow over that. That's okay. We have to deal with it now. And if we don't, and I'm that mystic, I'm that medicine woman that will deliver the other part of that message. If you don't deal with it now, between now and the end of August, if you don't turn around to that woman or that man or that parent or that child and realize that you are unconsciously being avoidant and selfish and not really doing the best version or the best recipe or formula for everybody concerned, then you may be playing like you're passive, but you're really being incredibly damaging and selfish because you're not facing up to what needs to be dealt with anyway. You can only put it off for so long. And then what happens is the fates and our guides go, oh, look at that. We've given them all kinds of signs. They've had dreams. They've had readings. Yeah. They've had the partnerships act up. They know the parent's wrong. They know the kid's wrong, and they're avoiding it because they don't want to look like the bad guy. Or what I usually hear with clients, oh, I've been done with this relationship for a long time, but I really don't want to give up the money. Really? Let me show you something. It's going to cost you. Yeah, it's going to cost you.
I can tell you personally from my Cancer, my whole chart revolves around Cancer, Cancer Moon, Cancer North Node. You know about it more than I do, but I can tell you guys personally, if anybody's a Moon North Node and whatever, is that like it doesn't pay to hold back and not express your feelings because you are the one that ends up hurting by yourself. Well,
and what
time.
happens is you'll understand how it hurts, but you'll also come to understand how to be your best healer.
That's right.
That's what holistic is. You start healing it at the soul spirit level first, then it automatically, and you have to discipline your mind and your patterns and your beliefs, and so that might be meditation, it might be a therapist psychology thing, it might be that you have to discipline yourself and sit your butt down and start to reprogram yourself. And anytime I've done tons of hypnosis training, and it usually takes at the subconscious level, usually between, if you're a fast learner and you can unlock yourself and you can make the shift, you can start to see really powerful results. And I don't want to limit anybody, but you can start to see the usual scenario is 30 to 31 days of doing some type of discipline, even if it's just 5 minutes every day, to where, like training a puppy or disciplining a child with their homework schedule, you got to do that to yourself as an adult. You got to shift out of your normal routines and patterns of where we go to seek to lick our wounds or seek pleasure because we didn't get our way exactly when we wanted it. And so we have to shift out of trying to control it, which if we're trying to control it, it's controlling us. Mm-hmm. So if we just shift and say, okay, I'm going to try something new because all of my patterns can't hold on to that and predict that, and so it's going to make me go into a higher vibration. And that's especially so right now for the Cancer, Capricorn areas of your chart. Are you listening out there? So you don't just have to be a Cancer, Capricorn moon or rising or north or south node. Cancer, Capricorn in all of our charts, even if you just have no planets in Cancer or Capricorn, but you certainly have a Cancerian house and a Capricorn house. Those two houses, because they're tied to each other, they're 6 months, 6 signs apart, that's what's being illuminated by this eclipse. So find out through the professional astrologer of your choice. Don't go guessing all over the internet. Invest in yourself and find out where are the early degrees of Cancer, the crab, and Capricorn in my own signature soul star chart. So that's with Cancer, that's going to be, you're in the spotlight right now. Everything's lit up around the Cancerian moonchild area of our chart. And so the methodology, the medicine of our learning right now is to honor our feelings. And first to say to ourselves, again, it's mirror work. Anytime you're working with the water signs, you're dealing with scrying or mirror work. So Cancer the crab is like looking at the mirror of the water. It's like going to the edge of the water and looking at our reflection in the water. And the salt waters are embryonic. It's the womb, the salt waters of the womb, the life-giving waters of Earth Mother's oceans, her effluvia. It's all about, how do I look to myself? What am I doing to myself? What am I allowing myself to take place? And how can I, rather than just take charge and need to be in control, whether that's overt or passive aggressive, how can I be the director, the writer, and the actual editor of my life script right now? What do I want? And you may be perfectly content. I'm not saying everybody's in divine discontent right now, but where you're having an area of a feeling that you don't feel like you belong, or you don't feel like you've got a longing for something, or it doesn't feel like your feelings are being able to flow, this is the magic. This is the treasure trove that you can open up right now and say, okay, this is my shadow work. And I got to tell you, when you start doing regular mirror work or regular shadow work, it's not horrible anymore. It's not difficult anymore, because you're doing it on a regular basis, and you have more aha moments, and you have more epiphanies, and you're just like, oh, cool. And it doesn't have to go into shock and awe and trauma and betrayal and being blindsided or kicked to the curb or ghosted, because you're looking at the signs way early. So it doesn't have to be extreme madness that comes into your life. I had a Leo client that just found out. I mean, they've not even been married long enough for it to be in the category, if they wanted to get out of it, that it would be a divorce. Yeah. But this Leo person, just found out that not only has the partner been cheating on him the whole time, but they lied about all the things on legal documents and gave him an STD.
Oh my God.
And oh yeah, so talk about like the Tower card in the tarot. It's like, yeah, total shock and awe. So I can't tell you, eclipses are wild cards. Like when I used to love to play Uno with my stepkids, I loved to get the wild card. I like to get being a Scorpio, I wanted to draw 4 or the wild card, so eclipses are huge exclamation points. It's almost like where the fates say to us, okay, you're getting all locked down in your little earthly routine again. Glad you got a safe spot. Glad you found your secret garden. Glad you got your comfort food, glass of wine, a little herb over there. Yeah, but you need to face this. So we're going to tell you one more time, 3 strikes and you're out. If you don't deal with it, then we're going to create the very people and the very scenarios and the very situations that start to cost you your energy, your money, your relationship. So if you didn't listen to the signs, then we're going to have to expose this demonic energy that's trying to be around you, this energy thief, this vampire that's dressed up looking like it's on your side, but it really wants to stall your light progress, and it wants to thwart your ability to blast forth the magnificent, omnipotent being that you are. And sometimes that's why the liars and the betrayers and the tricksters and the evil ones come around us. There comes a point where they can't get to you anymore, because you keep staying dedicated to the light. You keep staying dedicated to progressing, your soul alchemy, and you keep, it's a constant transformation, and there's perks along the way. Well, if you don't think that the demonic and the dark forces and the anti-light can't sniff it, oh, look at them over there. Oh, wow, they're beginning to help a lot of people, and they're beginning to really progress, and okay, we got to we need to pull that rug out from under them.
That's usually, and when I was talking to a buddy of mine about that, I said, when these retrogrades happen, especially, there is all kinds of stuff that'll happen. Last time this happened to me, people were trying to spread rumors about me and stuff, making up lies. And I'm telling you, people are always like, man, you just like say things how it is. It ain't because, it's only because I don't want to deal with that. When you just say what it is, try to be as authentic as possible. Don't hide nothing, anything like that.
Yep.
None of that Integrity. Stuff can hurt you. They can try, but it's like when you run it over a beehive, right? And you're like, damn, I got to get across this beehive, this crap, and these vampires and stuff. even when you're running and you're away from the beehive, they're still stinging you. They're still holding on for dear life. They don't want you to go, you know?
Well, remember, a tick or anything vampirical, a mosquito or a tick or something that is by their divinely gifted free will is choosing to be greedy, choosing to be a liar, choosing to let the psychological components, like instead of wanting to get better tools in their toolkit of alchemy, they're wanting to take it from other people because they're lazy and they're greedy, and it's sloth and avarice, and this, you know, there's the 7 virtues and the 7 vices, you know, the 7 deadly sins, so to speak. So that's a choice-based type of thing that we do. You know, I choose not to be around vampirical energies, places, vortices. I choose not to be around that because my guides have gotten it into my head and my heart. Why would you want to hang out with that? That's the antithesis of what your incarnational goal is. So it's my responsibility, if I recognize that something is salivating with long fangs and wants to, you know, to snack on my soul fruits, it's my job to be that protector and that warrioress and that sword of light. You know, summer solstice is the Ace of Swords.
Yeah, we got to recognize too when we're doing that to people
Absolutely.
because we're not taking care of our own inner child. So what we play,
Absolutely.
we're playing subconscious games with people and control and whatever. There's like emotional manipulation. I've been through all that stuff, but I used to point my fingers and go, it's that person, it's her. But really, I was put in that position because I didn't speak my truth. That's it.
Right.
I didn't act on my truth.
But that's a part, to your point, that's a part of the alchemy of authenticity. You know, it's kind of like the way the Catholics, when I was a child, they defined, I said, what is that? What's the difference between a mortal sin? What is that? And the way they would, because that's not what I grew up with in the mountains, but they would say, well, the way we believe is in Orthodox Catholicism, it's like you're innocent if you blunder into something and you do something wrong and you kind of blundered into it. And then when it's explained to you by your elders or the people that know better, like, no, don't do that. That's not right. That's mean to them, or that's not good for your soul, or that blah, blah, blah. That's just mean-spirited. You know, I love that term, mean-spirited or good-spirited. So that's mean. Don't do that. Then you do it again knowing that it's wrong to do it. There's a different kind of energy casting that comes onto that. Oh, your little butt knew better and you did it anyway. You know, it's like when a parent says to you, okay, you're going to get in triple trouble. I'm going to ask you a question, and if you lie to me, I'm telling you right now, you're going to get in less trouble if you tell me the truth. And you do that with a fury, you know, and a force. And then if they lie, it's just like, okay, choice equals consequence.
That always scared me, though, when my dad would say that, so I'd always just tell him the truth because it scared the hell out of me.
Okay, there's good scary and there's bad scary. I was that way with my stepkids. I was that way with my nieces. I'm that way with any child. It's like, I'm your protector and I love you and I'm a force to be reckoned with. Make no mistake about that. So I would, you know, it's like when you would take the bullet for somebody, when you would like jump, you know, into the fire and get them out of there, there needs to be that empathic tie between you energetically that I'm the one you need to tell the truth to. Because I'm the one that will go to battle for you. I'm the one that will protect you.
Right.
I'm the fierce fury in your life. So I'm not going to let you beguile and bewitch and lie to me, not without consequences. It's going to scare you more to not tell me the truth because I'm going to make sure you feel the difference one way or the other.
Isn't that kind of karma too? Like when we do that, because I've done that before. I've held back and didn't say something I know I should have and didn't tell the truth about, and it knots me the hell up, you know?
Well, we learn lessons different ways. Sometimes I think that's how they define the sin of omission. It's like we just avoid it, or we don't say it, or we knew better, but we kept quiet thinking maybe they'll find out, maybe they won't find out. And I think we still learn a very valuable soul life lesson sometimes by watching that dynamic go down as well. I think all of us have done that. All of us are kind of like, oh, Lord, I'm going to see how this plays out. I don't think I want to be the one to tell them.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's just like when when you've been around married people and you're friends with both, and you're just like, oh man, and you're out somewhere and you see, well, and you see the wife flirting with another guy, or you catch the guy out with another woman. You're like, oh man, I like both of them. Why would they do that? I'm not saying anything. Maybe I got it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see your friend, the husband, or your friend, the wife, kiss the other person, and then look at you like, you better shut your mouth. It's none of your business. It's just like, oh my God. And then, it rolls out from that. And that sometimes when you did tell them, like, look, I don't want to hurt you. It's none of my business, but you need to know I saw out with another person. I don't know what the whole deal is, but I saw it and I saw him kiss. And I don't want your mate who's sitting about that, but you're my friend. And you know how that can roll out. Sometimes they want to blame you.
One of these days I want to do a show on that. I know that hurts people so much, and it's like, why we keep doing it. And I'm telling you,
it'd be a great show. It'd be a great show for you to open up and let your audience call in with how that hit them, how they did that, the people that held back, the people that finally stepped up and did it, and felt like they were getting used by one of those friends because the friend realized you weren't saying anything about it. So the friend then tried to pull you in and triangulate you and use you as an excuse. Like, listen, I'm going to say I'm over at your house, and my husband or my wife's going to think I'm over at your house. No, you're not. That how we had to step up and do all that kind of stuff. So do you need to take a break before I go through the signs?
No, we got 10 minutes. I'm only taking a break at the top of the hour. Okay.
So happy birthday, Cancer. And the good news is, of all 12 signs, you come into more of this portal, this beautiful waterfall of dynamic, nurturing opportunities. Now, if you just sit there like a bump on a log as we go forward and, toward autumn equinox, you need to not just sit back on your laurels. If you want to take June and July and just say, oh, good, I can have like an ice cream shop moment. I can just snack on some briars, or I can just kind of, sit back for a minute and take a deep breath. Yes, you can take a deep breath. You can do it because Cancers and Capricorns have really had a lot of personal tornadoes that have come into their life over the 18 to 24 months. If you've got a Cancer rising, Capricorn rising, or a moon sign or a sun sign in that. Yeah. So it's really been like, holy mother of God. Yes, I can concur. I did get a big old bunch of lessons with my feelings. Yeah, I did. Yeah, they were put right up in my face. And when I tried to run away, they were on top of my back, not letting me go. So if you've got those in your, what I call the power zone, your sun, moon, or rising sign, if you've got Capricorn or Cancer there, yeah, it's been quite the show.
I've been
it's been the circus. Yeah, it's been like the high wire, and it's been the lions, and it's been the trapeze artists, and the ringmaster, and the clowns, and all of it. It's been all of that. But you know what? You've left the circus now. You're not the gypsy running around with the circus, going from town to town, different face to different face, same old show, just different people. So you've graduated. So congratulations. It's epic. It's an epic graduation. So for Cancerians, Cancer risings, or Cancer suns especially, there's a dynamic new 7-year portal shift opening up for you. So it's an upswing. It's an upswing for you. If you're a Leo, this is a shadow clearing time. The two words I kept hearing for Leo is you're aiming for tenderness. It's not easy for you to get into toughness, but there's some tough, shocking news or shocking secrets that are coming out that you're going to have to be that lion, that tough warrior or that tough warrioress, so that someone's not feasting on the sweet treat that you are and they're not taking advantage of your tenderness. And I feel with Leos, it's that privacy zone. It's their most private life. So, it's like where the Leos feel like, oh my God, I've got the thorn in my paw. And Leos, you can't spend too long thinking, why would they do that to me? Why would they say that to me? Why would they lie to me? Why did they use me? Why? Well, maybe just because they're sociopathic and it doesn't have anything to do with you. They don't have compassion or empathy. You're just next in a series of people that they plan to use and abuse. So the faster you take the thorn out of your paw and get away from it and look at them and say, it's guillotine time, and you better lose my number, and you better never come around me again. and really step back and thank your angels and thank the guides that you didn't spend 15 years with that person that was cheating and lying and giving you an STD and trying to take the money out of your mortgage and all that kind of stuff, because when you're a powerful light, sometimes those demonic agents try to come in and blindside you and take you off the path for a while. And if they can fracture and break you, and then the demon can kind of, fly off on its bat wings going, another one bites the dust, and it takes you a while to come back into your glory and your magnificence again. So if you're a Leo or an Aquarius, you need to really be open, 2020, opening your eyes to not what you've wanted to really look at in a deeper way. Like the Leos really didn't want to believe the rumors. They didn't really want to have the PI. They didn't really want to run the credit check. They didn't really want to believe their friends going, I saw so-and-so, and he was like slurping on that person's neck over there. You sure that you guys are okay? So Leo and Aquarius right now, and you Aquarians, it's a 6th house, 6-month-long portal of a solar eclipse opening up, going from summer solstice to Yuletide, winter solstice. And so for you Aquarians, with Saturn also retrograde, it's at 0 point of Aquarius right now. So Saturn in Aquarius is kind of like that part of us. It's just like, I just do not like people. I just do not like people. People are weird. People are selfish. Because, see, Aquarius is like humanity, and this is the dawning of Aquarius. And when Saturn gets there, it's just like, y'all are selfish. Y'all are entitled. Y'all only want to hear the Saturn blow to the sign of Aquarius is that if you don't believe like I do, then you're a nobody, and I'm going to cut you off. It's like extremist. They think they're doing something for the progression of humanity and the raising of equality, but if you're out there doing violence because you're mad that violence was done and you're attacking innocent businesses or innocent people, and people are like, wait, I didn't fight with you. I didn't do anything. I wasn't the one that did that. Why are you burning down my business? Then there's nothing humanitarian about that. That's very it's very violence is violence. Period. Violence, is never going to solve. It's really the signature of ignorance and being inane and not understanding your cause at all. But Aquarius, I would say until the end of July, until we're back together again on July 20th, that second new moon in Cancer. We have 2 new moons in the sign of Cancer, the crab. And here's the thing about this moon for all of us. When we have a new moon in the sign of Cancer, then the moon is involved. And in astrological and even in astronomy, the moon is the fastest moving celestial agent. So here's a little hint that you won't find in an astrology book that your little mystic astrologer will give you. During this Mercury retrograde, when the moon's phases are happening, like when we get to the first quarter moon, and then when we get to the half moon, and then when we get to the full moon, and then when we get to the last quarter moon, that's when we're going to feel this Mercury retrograde the most, and those are our valuable insight points, really valuable insight points. So like the first quarter moon, is going to be as we get to that June 28th, and then we'll have Mercury combust the sun over June 28th, 29th, and then we'll have that full moon, so we get there with the moon's at full light over the 5th, the 4th, 5th on the United States, and then we're going to have that square from Mars. We're going to have that big square from Mars that's going to take place with Mercury and Mars. And so what's taking place with that around, I would say in this next forecast period, especially if you're a cardinal sign of Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn, tone it down and don't accept anybody pushing you, and don't you turn into a bully yourself over that July 3rd through the 7th. Just tone it down at that point and be more of a witness. Really open your eyes and allow yourself to have clear seeing, which is clairvoyance, clear vision. All right, all of us. That's an advantage that the the void walkers and the lighting the void people get to hear tonight. Really want you to pay attention. If you want to see how the astrological frequencies can work for you, I've just given you an advanced weather forecast. You want to make sure you're not the one stirring up dissension between especially the 4th through the 7th, 8th of July. That's where you want to have compassion and be a person of support and empathy, but that doesn't mean you get taken advantage of. It may just be that you simply say, we're going to agree to disagree. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. So don't get your panties in a wad and your feelings all twisted up and create some new emotional knots or psychic cords in your life. You simply say to them, you know what, you got to go do what you got to do. So if you're...
Take a break. Are you about... Go ahead. You can finish that one, then we'll break. Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, take a break. Let's take a break and come back with the other signs, because that way they can digest just how powerful the whole... And by the way, before we go to break, this next week when Neptune turns retrograde, it's not just Mercury retrograde. As of next week, when Neptune retrogrades, we will have 6. That's right. 5 tonight, 6 next week retrograde planets.
Yeah. Damn it, boy. I think I'm going to stay in the house and just watch movies. I don't know. All right, here we go. We'll be right back. And once she finishes the signs, then we'll start taking your phone calls at 1-800-588-0335. More Mary Dusina coming up.
Hey, this is country music singer and void walker Jason Benoit, and when I need my fix on the world of magic and the capabilities of the human consciousness, I listen to Joe Roop right here on Lighting the Void Radio.
This is Barbara Charlton from Metaphorical Archaeology. If you've ever had a traumatic paranormal experience, the effects of it may stay with you for years. Who do you talk to? You can't go to conventional help. What we do is we use emotional freedom techniques or tapping to actually neutralize the effects of that event. Maybe when you tell the story now, your heart races and your palms get sweaty. You don't even want to think about it because you don't know how to neutralize that. That's what EFT tapping does. It neutralizes those emotions. The circuit that was recorded on is gone. The energy flows freely and you're free of it. And that's what emotional freedom is all about. We offer this as a pro bono service, but this is something that I offer because no one, it seems, is helping people with these experiences. If you'd like to reach me, it's really easy. My cell phone is 214-995-3754. Please leave a message. I will get back to you as quickly as possible. Or you can email me, barb.eft@gmail.com. And EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. Reach out to me. It's confidential. This works. You won't believe the results.
Please listen. Now is not the time to fear. When your immune system is strong, shields up. You have very little worries. If your immune system is compromised, you're susceptible to all viruses. I say shields up and no fear. Try Heart Love from GetTheTea.com. Heart Love has a special ingredient called allicin. It comes from the healing part of the garlic plant. No garlic breath, no garlic leaking out your pores, just pure immune-building ingredients that gets your shields up. Heart Love is a unique blend of herbs that loves to build you up. Google garlic and know the benefits. One Heart Love pill is equal to 20 cloves of garlic. 20 cloves. Shields up. You've heard of our Life Change Cleansing Tea at GetTheTea.com. Now try Heart Love. And by the way, take your blood pressure and watch weekly what happens. So here's how to purchase. Log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com and build your shields. That's GetTheTea.com. Mention Ray in the coupon code and hit apply and receive free shipping.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Suntwist Brown Oranges, the okay-tasting oranges with all the vitamin C removed. Suntwist Brown Oranges, the oranges for people who don't want to get too healthy.
All right, man, this is Crow 777, and you are listening to The Fringe FM.
Right, me old Chiners. I know it's an ad break, but before you lot shoot off and make yourself a cup of Rosie Lee or whatever else it is you're going to sling down your Gregory Peck, you need to listen to me babble. If, like me, you found your way to Lighting the Void via a downloadable podcast, you might want to take a butcher's at the Fringe FM Wind and Kite. You won't Adam and Eve how many other shows there.
My name is Jake. I'm from Billings, Montana, and I am a void walker.
Hey, Joe Root. Thanks for lighting the void. This is Janine in the bluegrass of Kentucky, and I am a void walker.
What's up, guys? This is Damien from San Marcos, Texas, and I'm a void walker. I listen to the show to keep myself aligned with the world.
Hi, this is Laura, aka Laura Lavender. I'm from Las Vegas, and I listen to Lighting the Void because it helps me understand some of the strangest experiences I've had. So thanks for all that you do and for always being there for us, Joe.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Einstein's Express, where we move your package so fast that we actually break the time barrier. In fact, we guarantee that your package will arrive at its destination at least 12 hours before you send it. Einstein's Express, when it absolutely, relatively, has to get there the day before yesterday.
The Fringe FM isn't just a radio station. We also provide services for all your audio production needs. If you're interested in live radio or pre-recorded podcasts, we're here to help. We even do audio enhancements and voiceovers if needed. If you want to do a podcast or live radio show and even want the option to syndicate on terrestrial radio, from simple audio file enhancement to live production and call screening, we have you covered. We have worked with some of the best professionals in the business in order to provide coaching instruction for content creation, show structure, and more. Contact The Fringe Digital Media for more at info@thefringe.fm. That's info@thefringe.fm. Or call 501-777-5631 for a consultation.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by All New Head and Navel, the only shampoo that battles both unsightly dandruff and excess buildup of belly button lint.
Hey, I'm J.M. DeBoard, and when I want to talk about dreams, I look up my man Joe Root and his show, Lighting the Void.
Message is being broadcast by the Department of Defense of the Republic. At 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, multiple unidentified objects were confirmed to have entered Earth's atmosphere.
Discovery Houston, 20 seconds to LOS T-Drift.
The first message that comes to you is you are a divine being. You matter. You count. You come from realms of unimaginable power and light, and you will return to those realms.
The vast stretches of the unknown and the unanswered and the unfinished still far outstrip our collective comprehension.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting from Forest Tower Studios, all the way from the Deep South. Now, here is your host, Joe Root.
That's right. I'm here. Thank God it's Friday, and actually I'm here with co-host Mary Dusina too on Cosmic Conditions. The craziest energy you ever felt in your entire life. It's dark, it's evil, it's scary. No, I'm just playing. We're here with Mary Dusina. And we're doing the going around the signs. We're going to do the psychic readings and stuff like that. I will just say too, I want to say something just real quick because I know this is your show, but like I have learned, I would say this thing too, to the last thing you said before the break. I was really thinking like we got to, and this has like been my biggest lesson, and it hurts me to even say it, but like we got to stop saying you make me feel this way. Like it's right. I expect you to make me feel this way, and if I don't feel this way, it's because of you. And it's like I've been through that my whole life, and I've been doing that to people too, and I'm telling you the karma of it sucks. So Like,
Well, you're
just letting
graduating.
you know.
You're graduating, and like we were talking about, before the break and during the break, the emphasis point of this very watery cardinal sign of Cancer the crab, is that's why the tortoise retreats back into its shell quickly and closes its little front door, and the crab will pinch you, and it runs sideways or backwards. It's because, if I'm not ready to face that, I'm going to back up, or I'm going to sidestep it, or I'm going to avoid it for a little while longer. I mean, Cancer is not normally an energetic frequency in our charts that says, yeah, I'm going to take it on. I mean, an Aries will tell you, and a Scorpio will show you, and a Sagittarius will be like, I'm so not dealing with this little temper fitness mood today. I'm going to get on my horse or get in my truck and ride. So each one of the signs has a different way of dealing with it. So Cancer the crab is like, all of us have it in our chart. I keep emphasizing that. Like when we come back together on July 20th, we'll be talking all about Leo, the lion, and how what that's doing in our chart. So right now is the opportunity, the way you get the celestial star language to work for you. It's like a weather forecast. And right now the weather forecast is got to do with it's raining emotions. Our feelings are activated all around us. How's your inner child? And is your inner child expecting someone else to make you feel good in the sandbox out there? It's like, Mommy, make it better. Daddy, go get them. And that's actually all of us as an adult dealing with our own inner child. So Cancer is the mother principle. Capricorn is the father principle, which is why I'm talking about how we are as parents, how we're dealing with our parents, how we're not dealing with our kids, how we're not dealing with the mommy role and the daddy role. That's just what's out there right now is our collective teacher, is our soul 101 lessons. So we did Cancer and we did Leo, and we spent a little more time on Cancer because, after all, it's their solar return, it's their birthday cycles, and truly, happy birthday, Cancer. It's a good one, I promise. It's just you're dealing with the residue of that 2 years. If you're a Virgo, it's an 11th house Cancerian transit with this solstice eclipse, this midsummer vibe magic. So there's going to be changes through your friends, with your friends. There's some fresh goals. There's some new journeys. There's a deepening of your tribe. There's a changing of the guard there. So it's got a lot to do with who you really want to hang out with now, and maybe some people you've outgrown. It's the way it is. Neptune's in Pisces, opposing you. Mars is at the end of Pisces, getting ready to shift into Aries. So where the shock and awe or the mayhem or the magic happens for you, Virgo, is to do with who you know socially and who you tend to hang out with, and in that circle. If you're a Libra, like Aries, or you've got a Libra moon or a Libra rising, it's a 10th house vibration. You're supposed to be focused. Your success comes from being focused on the creative marketing and promotion, and where we're raising the bar. We're all raising the bar. This is the one time in the 12 zodiac signs for you to really put your best foot forward professionally and help those that you know deserve to come along the ride with you. Now, the 10th house also could have to do with our elders and ancestor revelations and emphasis, especially around that June 30th to July 7th, 8th. There could be some radical releases. There could be some things that you discover, come to know, or are told about an ancestor, an elder, a grandparent, or a family, or the father figure that you never knew before, that enriches you or enhances you somehow. Again, 2020, you may look at your grandfather or your father or the elder males in your home life, in your family life, if you're a Libra, and see things in a way that you had never considered before this year. If you're a Scorpio, water to water, there's an enhancement of visions. There's an enhancement of psychological power plays that need to be dealt with and faced. Scorpios have to deal with powerful psychological tests. Sometimes they try to test their power on other people, and they do these little mind games, or they do these little willpower wars of roses, wars of the willpower, that what I call the push-pull. There's a lot of psychic impacts that are coming around Scorpios, and you've got some new power guides. And as I said last month to Scorpio back in Gemini when it was an 8th house thing, you're either going to be getting in some darker guides. They're going to lead you off a primrose path and pull knock your legs out from under you, or you're going to be able to clean up your act, stop being so self-driven, so controlling, and then you can have some really good psychic improvements and some nice guardian guides and angelic forces that are coming in around you to let you chart a new course in a good way instead of trying to control everybody else's course. If you're a Sagittarius, it's an 8th house thing. This is your soul contract, Sagittarius. It's got a lot to do with the karma of your partners, your significant others. If there's been a little push-pull from the partner not wanting to join you right away on the decision you want to make or the changes that you want to make, that's a work in progress until you get to the first part of August. Capricorn, big impact sign. It's like there's a new partnership or an improvement in partnerships around you, Capricorns, if you, and here comes the tough mystic, here comes the mystic mountain mama, get out of the same stagnant ruts. Stop fearing the future so much that you're compromising yourself. Capricorn, you know that you're not happy, and you know why you're not happy. So quit choosing just something that you feel like is the lesser of two evils. Well, at least I know this is crappy, so I'll just stay here. I don't know what's out there. I had a Capricorn client say that to me last week, and I'm like, did you just listen to yourself?
At least I'm
good
in crappy situations. That's something to be proud of, right? Like, I don't know.
Well, like I said, did you ever watch Saturday Night Live in the 90s where they had this skit and it was called Look at Yourself? And no matter what, it was a therapist played by that Nora lady. And it's like no matter what the couple said, hi, I'm here today. How can I help you? Hi, I'm here today because, I'm really not happy where I live. Have you looked at yourself? And she would hand them a mirror. And they're like, what? They're like, have you looked at yourself? Have you looked at it? It's 2020. It goes with the thing. We're like, I'm afraid of falling. And then, of course, it was a comedy skit. And she goes, have you looked at yourself? And they're like, what? Are you falling? Look in the mirror. Are you falling right now? No. Well, look at yourself. You're not. Oh, I'm cured. Of course, it was a whole satirical thing. But it's the same. That's why I said to the Capricorn, I want you to say back to me what you just said. I know I'm in a crappy situation, but at least even though it's horrible, I know that it's horrible. I don't know what's out there. I'm like, oh, my God. Let me say that to you in a different way. You're settling for less, and you think that all you deserve is horrible, and you're too chicken shit to go out there and break up with this and spend the money to get the divorce or whatever it is you need to do, and just trust that the universe could send you something besides crappy. Really? Yeah.
Well, some people have a hard time trusting spirit. They just do. I don't know. I mean,
in that case, Joe, I'm sorry. They don't have to trust spirit. They need to they need to realize that they couldn't trust their own instincts. They're the one that got themselves into crappy. Spirit didn't do that to them.
Crappy Cappy. No.
Yeah, that's right. They're dealing with crabby Cappy. So crabby. So anyway, so if you're a Capricorn, I'm just going to say this to you, Capricorn. You answer the question as you look in the mirror. Have you looked at yourself? Are you happy? Just answer that. Are you happy? You know why you're happy or you're not happy, and it's time to change it because here's the deal. By late September and October, the force is going to do it anyway. So right now you can kind of steer the wheel. Right now you can, Jesus, take the wheel. You can do it right now, and you've got some help. Otherwise, fate's going to step in. We mentioned lightly about Aquarius. It's your 6th house. The consequences of you staying in a high-stress situation at work, with dealing with something with your family. Aquarius, with Saturn there in the early degrees, even though Saturn's retrograding back into late Capricorn, you better look at what, where, who, or how is draining your vital life force energy mentally, physically, because what's stressing your wellness can come up to be something that actually takes you off that job or takes you and puts your butt in bed or in the hospital. So Aquarius, Saturn doesn't play. So you need to take care of your health. And it's stress related. If you're a Pisces, here's a fun one. Pisces is going to be pleasure seeking. So you Pisces out there, you're wanting. Here's the only thing I'm going to say to you Pisces that are age appropriate. You better be careful because you're very fertile. And so there could be either, if you're a grandparent, it could be that one of the offspring surprises you with, whoopsie, I'm pregnant and I'm going to live with you. Or it can be if you're at that childbearing age that you got somebody pregnant or you get the pregnancy test comes back fertile for you. So now you've been warned. And Pisces, it's a 5th house thing. So enjoy music, enjoy dancing, But don't get so high or don't get so drunk or don't have so many mushrooms or ayahuasca that you just become like the party that everybody's party favor.
Pacho.
You might not know who the baby daddy is. So I'm telling you, Pisces, you love to go into fantasy. So I'd come up with something else besides just being a snack attack. And if you're in Aries, it's fourth house. So Aries rising or Aries moons. There's plans involving residential shifts, renovations, improvements, really enjoying. It's a good time to hunker and enjoy your own shelter. It's a good time, Aries, for you to say, you know what? This is my place. I go to let my hair down, to pass gas, to
shack.
Eat what I want to eat, sleep on the couch if I want to. This is my vortex. So I would say to all of you, Aries, just maybe get one new little thing from nature, that magical stick, or maybe make your own set of nature-crafted runes or oracle set, or, draw some new things that are magic type of affirmations for you or something. It's like bring something from nature indoors to where you like to hang your hat, or hang up your keys, because there's something about magic coming into your home. And I won't rule out for other Aries that there's the real estate shifts and changes going on. And the fourth house can have to do with what your soul's pestering you to do. A lot of astrologers look at the eighth house as like transitions and big deaths in life. See, I don't. I've been studying it long enough, and I know that's fourth house stuff. The biggest changes in your life happen when big planets are dancing around in a fourth house transit. And that's what this eclipse is doing for you, Aries. So between now and autumnal equinox, this is a very important time for you to decide who gets to really be in your legal, loyal, inside tribe and who you're kind of keeping at a distance. Okay. So if you're a Taurus, got two more. If you're a Taurus, it's a third house type of a thing. Great time to learn a new skill, learn a new way, clear up how you form your beliefs or your neighborhood, short adventures, clearing up any kind of legalities, getting to the point, tightening up your contracts, making sure before you sign them a dotted line that it's exactly what they told you it would be before you agree to the car or the house or let your kid, co-sign on the loan or whatever it is. So it's with Taurus, you need to make sure you give a second glance at anything that has to do with legal binding contracts. And finally, if you're a Gemini, you had your birthdays last month. It's all about show me the money. Where's my money going? How come they're after my money? What am I going to do with my money? My assets versus, my debits versus my credits. So Gemini, it's actually a favorable time for you to be focusing on your currencies in your life. But the currencies in this lifetime do not just involve coin and dollar and
abundance
Bitcoin
comes in all forms, not just money.
Right, and there's different kind of currencies. And so for Gemini, I would say the eclipse is going to show you what's draining your vital accounts, what's draining your accounts. And so that way you can, focus. Geminis get too scattered. And so Geminis need to focus on what is prosperous and what is a win-win situation for them. Mm-hmm. So that's the signs. Keep in mind, you may need more rest under a Cancer eclipse. Music will heal you more. Meditation is absolutely good medicine. Ceremonial circles, realize that you'll tend to be on the defensive and you'll get your feelings hurt easily if you start assuming. Don't do that. If you need clarity, ask. Don't just assume because you'll get your feelings hurt and nobody meant to hurt your feelings. So don't do that under a Cancer eclipse. We tend to be thin-skinned and we don't. Somebody says, just kidding. We're like, no, you weren't.
Dude, I'm a Cancer moon. I've laid up at night on the couch tossing and turning thinking about the worst possible outcome. You can ask Mary. I'd text her and be like, this is going to happen. And this is like, shut up. All right. So here's the thing. Yeah. So here's the thing to do
enough.
That makes you feel good. All right. Is like, just don't do that, right? I mean, don't do it.
Right. Well, I'll say to them, don't go. Yeah, don't. I'll say to my clients all the time, why did you go to YouTube again or Venmo and do that tarot card thing again. I promise you, go at 7 o'clock and then go at 10 o'clock and you go tomorrow morning, you get 3 different readings and it's just going to scramble your brains.
Don't read YouTube readings. Don't stay up all night and listen to tarot on YouTube. That's what you don't need to do.
It's all over the place. It's all, wait, if you're going to have someone, do that, as an astrologer, there's lots of good people great people that do things on YouTube too. But if you're going to do that, take it with a grain of salt. Do you understand when they're doing your sign? They're talking to like thousands of Taurus and thousands of Pisces, and it's going to be a bigger hit if you listen to your sun sign and your rising sign, especially. The rising sign gets number 1 position. And that's if you calculated it correctly. So many people go over to this website or that going, I got my chart for free. Really, you might have got an incorrect chart, dumbass.
You know the one I heard today, real quick. I'm sorry, caller. I know we're about to get you here. But real quick, there was one today I heard said, oh, well, you're going to fall in love with this person and they're going to fall in love with you and you guys it's going to be you against the world, but something's going to happen. This person's going to get in a car wreck or dislimbed or disfigured. And then they're going to call
wrong.
you. Yeah, and then she's like, they're going to call you and tell you that, just leave me because you can do so much better than me, and you're going to have to make a choice to stay with that person. I'm like, what? What?
I think they call that clickbait.
Jesus. Right, that's like the worst thing I ever heard. And one thing I want to do is say real quick because I love you, Mary, and you're a Scorpio. Scorpios hadn't got the best, they've been getting a lot of harsh advice from Mary for the past few months. But understand this, you do realize that you're the most powerful sign in the zodiac, right? So
yeah,
you don't have to control things. You don't have to manipulate. You have it all. If you could just see it, you have it all.
Well, and Scorpio has a heavy responsibility. They're riding around with the celestial rulership of Pluto, the Lord of the underworld, Hades, thank you, and Mars, before Pluto was discovered. So Scorpio's got like a harsh mistress, so to speak. That's why they move in and out of very dominating type of personalities, or they can try to be dominating themselves, or they'll flip back and they'll go into submissive. But when a Scorpio decides, when Scorpio, it's like heaven or hell. They tend to go to extremes. And when Scorpio decides to be a beacon of light, then they're the ones that can be strong enough to say, listen, it only needs to be a win-win type of situation. And if I find out you're playing games and I find out you're lying, I find out you're greedy and all that, I'm going to guillotine your ass. That's what's going to happen. So that Scorpio therapist or counselor when I've had Scorpio doctors in my life, they'll just say to you, you're the type of person that can handle hearing the way it is. I don't have to fluff it up with you. And I'm like, that is absolutely correct. If you value your testicles, you better tell me exactly what's going on.
Yeah, so it's not a bad idea to have a Scorpio friend. I can tell you that. That's for
exactly
sure.
Right. That's exactly right. And of course, that doctor appreciates the freshness of it. Going, I'm gonna scoot back a little bit from you, Mary, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you the truth. I said, that's a win-win.
All right. So do you want to start taking these calls? Because we
don't
have. All right, here we go.
Sure.
Let's see. The one that's been waiting the longest, it would be 620 area code. You are on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are you speaking with?
Hey, Mary. Hey, Joe. This is Ashley. How are you guys tonight?
Hello, Ashley.
Blessed midsummer solstice to you and eclipse, Ashley. Thank you for your sweet spot type of energies and affirmations. Appreciate you. And thank you for holding on, by the way. It's classy. Classy. Would you like me to pick a card for you, or do you have a question you want me to address?
I kind of have a question.
Good.
You kind of know that I've been going through a lot of changes and stuff lately, and I just can't get out of this funk of feeling just like not good enough, and just a bunch of negative self-talk keeps coming up. And I have a Cancer sun, and my Mercury is also in Cancer. So I'm not sure if
you've had 2 years of
shadow work.
Yeah,
you've
had 2 years of trial by fire.
It's been the past 2 years. Yes, have been hell.
But I see a clearing for you, though. I see like clear endeavors. Well, let me. Something came to me psychically. What's the first thing that comes to you right now? Right now, why do you feel like your higher self will answer this? why do you feel like, what do you feel like triggers, or why do you feel like you're hard on yourself? Is there like an age memory that comes up, or you don't have to tell on air the specific details, but do you understand that it has a point of origin, that's the place that you go because it's familiar? Was it a voice in your past?
Yeah, I think it all goes back. Yeah, I think it just goes back to my parents being split up and my dad was never present, just like a weekend thing. And so that masculine energy in my life has always been just not there.
You ready to break up with that pattern?
I'm so sorry.
Are you ready to break up with that pattern?
I'm so tired of it. Yeah. I want a masculine energy in my life that will stay. And,
Well, let me tell you something, honey. When they do get there, you better hold on to them, because I'm a masculine energy just like that, and I get tired of you. Just understand that sometimes it'll show up, and then you're like, well, this is too easy, or this is too good to be true. And then you don't kick them out, and it'll come to you. You deserve it. It'll come to you. Sorry, Mary. I had to say that.
Well, look at it. He's right. He's right. Look at it this way, Ashley. I'd like to suggest, and again, to the positive side of YouTube or the internet, I'd like you to get really specific about, like, maybe the meditation won't be titled that, but like if you go into high frequency music or a past life meditation of your choice, something that you're drawn to, I want you to specifically deal with just that. With this Cancer solstice, midsummer eclipse at 0 degrees of Cancer, it's all about us healing that. We all have something with our inner child that was a plus or a minus, okay? So let's say that the dad was a weekend dad and you really didn't feel like that you, so far, got what you needed to get from him. Mm-hmm. So, that it was too part-time and you're tired. That little kid in you didn't like it, that you longed to have more dad, and dad was going out the door again, coming in the door, going out the door, leaving, not staying. It's part-time, temporary. Okay. Yeah. So in your meditations, you're, as the mother, as the warrior woman, you're going to protect that little insecure girl, and you're going to say to her, come on, we're going to go on a shamanic journey in this meditation. And by the way, it's okay if you fall asleep to that meditation too, because that gets deeper, quicker into the recesses of the subconscious. And you're going to say, we've always gone here when we've been hurt or we felt rejected. This is how we do it. This is our familiar pattern. This is where we always go to try to soothe ourselves and lick our wounds and all of that. Now we're going to do something different, because what we've been doing hasn't had the masculine manifestation. It hasn't worked for me to get. It's just logical. It hasn't worked for you to be able to manifest. Well, you're going back to same old ground again and again and again. It's like the hamster in the wheel. So what you're going to do is you're going to do a focused intention meditation of, I'm now going to go into my meditation. I'm open to have shown to me, 2020, see it, own it, be shown it. I'm allowing my guides to show me where I might be in my own way because of my past feelings of brokenness or shame or blame or fractures. I'm now going to start there and do psychic surgery, and I'm going to take my inner child to the spiritual doctor, to the angelic table, and we're going to get this transformed, and we're going to get this recalibrated, and we're going to start from square one. And so we're not going to have to refer back to dad always leaving, or dad was a minus, because there were pluses in that too. And now I'm going to focus on, I now will call and summon my man with the pluses. Now, how that will try to switch around is there could be a man that really wants to be there with you. You're not used to that. So the 180-degree pattern that comes up is, oh, he's too needy, or, he just needs to go out and do his life and all that. And I mean, I can't make him happy all the time. I think he demands too much from me. Do you understand how that can go the other way, to where you would be hurt that I don't want to hurt him? I know what that feels like. I don't want to be the one to walk out on him. My God, I've waited for this so long. Now I've gone the extreme the other way. Because the little kid does this. Here's what the little kid does. Whether we're a little girl or a little boy, here's what the little kid does. I want to understand, because we don't know the dynamics in psychology when we're little kids. I want to know why daddy goes. I want to know what makes daddy come. I want to know what makes daddy go. So what we do is, when we get into our teens, we go, I tell you what, when I grow up, I'm not putting up with that crap. I will not put up with that crap. So like you become the female that's either too tender and too sensitive and too needy, and somehow that chases them off, or they think like, God, girl, you're in love with love. You're not really in love with me. you're in love with love, and you don't understand, honey, I love you, but you're too emotionally demanding. And that can switch to you attracting someone that's a mirror of you. And when you're needy and when you're insecure, and then that'll rile your feathers up the other way, like, oh my God, I told you I love you. Why don't you believe me? Why are you so needy? Because the little kid says, I need to know why I felt like that. Why did I feel like that with my daddy? So you're trying to get unstuck. You're trying to get the leash off of your ankle. So if you'll specifically address that and do like that, I don't care. I'm telling you, I don't care if you go to sleep at night with it and you only remember 5 minutes of it. You're starting a process to reprogram that old dynamic, that old tape recorder, and then the quivering that you're hearing in your voice will be a strong woman going, I'm glad that I looked at it from both sides, being too needy and me being too needy or someone being too needy with me. I need to break up with needy and enjoy pleasure and harmony and attract a male that I can have fun with.
Yeah. Hey, and it's all about that balance too. You know what you can do? If you what Mary's talking about, I would definitely do like as much as possible. But what you can do is I'm not even going to say why I know this works, but you can visualize, like meditate and do a visualization of what it would be like to have a man like that in your life. Do you know?
You get the feeling. Yes.
What did they want? What do you want to do? Do you want them? And it doesn't matter. Do you want them? Because this is how I love. Do you want them to read a book to you? Do you want them to talk to you? Do you want them to carry you to bed? Do you want romance? Right?
Get
you
specific.
Want those things?
Get specific.
Yeah.
Do you want protection? Do you want to feel safe? Right? Do you want to know they're always going to be there, but they also aren't clingy and they let you be free and express yourself? Just visualize what that would feel like. You don't have to put a face to it, and keep feeling.
No, you don't
those
have to put
feelings.
a face to it, but put the feelings to it.
It'll show up.
Exactly.
You'll just have to
what
recognize
he's saying.
it.
Yeah, exactly what he's saying, Ashley. Go into meditation almost like it's a theatrical production, and you're the writer, you're the director, you have the final edit. But he's right. I want you to start practicing getting the feelings of, he wants to rub my back. He's not doing it out of obligation. He likes to cuddle with me and let me take a nap, and it doesn't always have to just be sex. He likes to brush my hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it might just be
the affection that means more than anything.
Yeah, and to see the problem that we run into in this situation is your devil Mars energy is attracted to masculine qualities, but there's a masculine emotion that you're needing more than anything. And a lot of times I can tell you as a guy, we're all brought up to be like, just all you got to do is ignore and be an asshole, and she'll just chase you. And guess what? You do, right? I mean, how many women do that? Like, they just keep making excuses for toxic dudes. But they get older, you get smarter, you're tired of hurting. And I'm not saying go for the safe guy, because there's good-looking dudes out there that have these. I'm a good-looking dude. I have those qualities, and I exist. So trust me, like, they exist. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but because I'm not at all.
But it's real.
But it's
exactly. It's not a fantasy, but that's out there. It's not a fantasy that you can't achieve that. It's not a fantasy. He's real. That male that part of that male, even if he acts all toxic and all that, he's fractured. And he really wants to be able to be genuine and
wants to take care of
it. Yep. So it's real. You're not chasing a pipe dream. You just need to break up with what's become a pattern and familiar. So it's just like when we first had to learn Spanish or we first had to learn math. Sometimes we grumble as, beginning students, and, oh my God, now I got to take literature. Now I got to study American history. And we grumble about it, but it helps, round us out later on. I'll be the first to raise my hand and say, I just do not see, I didn't see it then, and I don't see it now, talking about 2020. I remember arguing with my algebra teacher going, I am not going to use this in the financial constructs of my life. I don't care what y minus 2 is. Just tell me how to add it, subtract it, make the money, spend the money. That's what's going to help me in life, not why am I putting all these unnecessary letters with these numbers and making the equation harder than it is? Do I have the money or not? And I said, that's why I get a D in algebra. It's not I got A's in geometry, I got A's in regular math, and I said, I despise algebra. But like Joe and I were talking about lying, my dad was a NASA engineer, and he really wanted me to do good in math. So sneaky little Scorpio here, of course, worked in the office. I got to be an office assistant to the principal. And so when they had the report cards, I stole a blank one. Yeah, I did that. I stole a blank one because I didn't want my dad to find out, speaking of my dad's, to find out that I was going to get a D in algebra. So I took the right pen that they had, of course, in the office that the teachers used, because that's where they issued them, and I made the D a B. So Dad looked at my report card and he said, "Wow,
manipulative, sneaky. You're so sneaky.
You got to be in algebra." And I'm thinking to myself, because I was psychic, please let this be the end of it. Please let this be the end of it. And he goes, "Well, that means that you've got good left brain hemispink." And I'm like, "Oh crap." And he said, "So you're going to sign up for Algebra 2. He never found out I changed the grade, but I had to get stuck with the same teacher and take Algebra 2, and the Algebra 2 teacher, he looked at me and he goes, "Why are you here for Algebra 2? You got a D minus." And I said, "Here's the way this works. I changed my grade for my dad." I told him, I said, "I changed my grade and I made it a B." And he goes, "Because you thought you'd get out of the class?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "You're stuck with me for a whole nother semester." And I said, "I know." And he said, "And if you don't do really good and figure this out, I'm going to tell your dad." So Scorpio here boxed herself into a very good No, I admire him. He got me to pay attention to, I created it for myself. Choice equals consequence. So what I did was I created a surrogate daddy figure, because I hated my dad sitting at the table doing math with me every night. He wanted to go over my math. So what happened was I created another surrogate father figure that made me stay after school to work on my math, and he had horrible breath, so it was worse. I had to smell his breath.
A real masculine man that's in touch with it, and I'm still learning about this myself, but what I've come to know, it will empower you and keep you safe.
That's right.
It will empower you and keep you safe, and always be there.
He raises his woman up. She is his princess. He raises his woman up, and he's okay letting her independent, fiery spirit sensually feel safe around him. You know, it's like he doesn't expect her to perform all the time. You don't have to shave your legs all the time. You don't have to do me
or where
all
are you
the
going?
time.
You going out of the house? You going out with your friends? But yeah,
right.
No. Go have fun. Be careful.
No.
Call me if you need me.
Yeah, call me and I'll be right there. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And half the time she'll turn around going, "I don't want to go." But it's okay if she goes. You know, it's always the honeymoon phase in the beginning. So, Ashley, you got this. And keep this in mind. It's absolutely hardcore astrological fact that the strong Cancer Capricorn vibrations in the chart have really been daunting for the last 2 years. Daunting. The graduation is this weekend. And the Mercury retrograde for you in Cancer can help you. Retrogrades can help us go back and revise where we got stuck in the quicksand emotionally.
Don't be afraid to feel it.
So where would I go back date wise to like revisit where I was at that time to kind of see
you go in meditation.
All this is
go into meditation and start from now backwards every moment that hurt you until you find the source.
Okay.
Clean it up. Break up with it. Clean it up and say, "I thank you for the teaching. I now release you to the next level of love's light. I now release any and all uninvited energy influences." Uninvited energy influence. I break up with you. I break up with you. I release you. I release you to love's light. I'm done with it. I'm ready. I'm graduating. I'm a graduate. And just do it. It's just homework. It's soul work. It's homework. But the fact that your mind and your body and your subconscious sees that you're walking a different path, you're going into a different class, a different schoolhouse now, then you can leave the past behind and create fresh without the residue. You're creating fresh now. And like Joe said, you're going to feel how good it feels that you can express yourself the way you want to romantically without fear of judgment. You're going to let your hair down, be who you are, be the full woman that you are, and the man will come that celebrates that, going, "You're exactly what I've been looking for." Hear that in the meditation. Ashley, you are where have you been all my life? You are exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah, and I would say too, like real quick, like when you feel that stuff, when you feel that hurt, don't stay in victim mode. Like if it's your ex-boyfriend or whatever, your dad, and you feel that pain and you feel yourself start to cry, let yourself cry and then ask yourself, Why did he do that? What was going on with him? Right? Oh, I forgive him.
Yeah.
And then go to the
I
next
guess
one.
it's just the Cancer in me. I do take everything personal.
Yeah, me too.
Cancers do. That's part of, that's where everybody, the Cancer part of our chart is where we get on the defensive and we take everything personal. But here's the thing. Personal means it's all about you. So guess who the director is? Guess who the actress is? Guess who the writer is? You need to make it even more personal about you and write the script you want.
Yeah.
Instead of outside people affecting your emotions, honey, instead of outside people rewriting you the next chapter of your book or your script, you're now going, no, because I'm so intuitive and I take things to heart and I am very much in touch with my feelings. I'm going to write the storybook romance of the one that comes into my life and says, I love how you're able to express yourself. Teach me.
I told you so many people are going through this right now. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Yeah,
so.
but it's exactly what we remember. What I said at the beginning of the show. We're being shown what we need to see to get out of our own way and to create what we want on our path. We've got to look at it in order for it not to demonically chase us, hold us back, thwart our progress. So it's not about us, it's about us just be willing to look at it a different way. So you're going to go do these meditations. And like Joe said, when the first memory of pain comes up, to say, I release you, I break up with you, I release you, be gone. You have no power here. And then feel how good it feels for a guy to say, you're exactly what I've been looking for.
Yeah.
Feel it. Just feel it. You can do it because you're a Cancer, so you can feel it better than all the other 11 signs. You're going to be able to do this faster than all the other 11 signs. How about that?
And then when he comes around, for God's sake, don't get in your head.
Back.
It's too good to be true. Like, no, just embrace it for the love of God.
Yeah. Dive. Yeah, don't start that. Well, how do I know if he'll stay? How do I know if dive? Take the leap of faith. Cancer's also about taking the leap of faith, going, here's a real eye-opener. I didn't like how it has been. I didn't like the mood I was into, so I'm going to dive into this. It's a vision quest. It's the hero's journey, and it's the vision quest. The Cancer is the part of the zodiac in the hero's journey, the archetypes. This is where we leave the familiar and start the trek into the unknown. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is that crossroads. We're now moving from everything that's been predictable and familiar, even if it's been shitty, and we're now going into the vision quest of like, yep, I'm going to bust a move. So you bring your archetype. You bring your dragon, or you bring your unicorn, or you bring your wolf spirit, you bring your medicine totems. A scorpion showed up on the towel for me tonight at 11 o'clock going, well, doggies, look at you. With its tail up and its pincers up in the air. And I'm like, I'm going to take a picture. I put it on my Facebook page. I'm going to take a picture of you, and I'm going to save you and take you outside.
Yeah. And then take care of people. If you start feeling bad or depressed, go around, just start taking care of the things and the people that you love, that that appreciate it. It'll make you feel better.
Yeah, reward the people that are good to you, and do like Joe and I always talk about. We're bringing this back. I swear we're starting a trend. Random acts of kindness, paying it forward. Like Joe knows, I've talked about my tithe pies, how I make these homemade Southern pies to cheer people up at Thanksgiving and at Christmas, right? Oh, no, I delivered 6 pies last week. It's like I don't make pies in June and July, but I did it, and people are like, oh, my, one lady had fell through her floor and, had bruised ribs, and I'm like, I'm going to make an Italian dinner, and I'm going to go take her a pie, and she's like, because Cancer's also comfort food, right? And she's just like, oh, my God. Yeah. I just sat there, and I ate, and I ate. And, of course, I'm doing magic over this food. You know that. Like I'm putting love and healing. And she said, my husband looked at me and said, are you going to save me a piece of that pie? And she went, maybe not. Maybe not. He laughed, and he said, my wife does not sit down and eat a whole pie. And I'm like, I've been knowing what I do with my tithe pies. I've been knowing. So, yeah. So you do those random acts of things, and the little homeless Vietnam vet that I've talked about before that smiles and never asks anybody for anything. Saw him up at the grocery store, pulled up and laid a 20 on him saying, how you doing? He said, better now. But he never asks, he never begs, he's just a happy, shiny person.
We got to get to this next caller, but yeah, I mean.
Yes. Thank you, Ashley.
Ashley, thank you so much. Hang in there.
Thank you guys so much. Thank
Bless
you.
you, Ashley.
You're welcome.
All right.
Oh, man.
Guys, have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
She's so cute.
Yeah.
She's so cute.
Yeah. Sorry, let's see. 540 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are we speaking with?
Joe, it's Michael in Virginia. How you doing tonight?
What's up, man? What's on your mind? You got a question for Mary or want her to pull a card?
Question. I've been told that I have sort of a life-changing event coming up in July, and it'll be a new chapter. It's just kind of wanted to see how you read on that, what you pick up.
For some reason, I'm focusing, like I see this really neat, like kind of like it looks like when right before daybreak, when it's it's usually like blues and pinks and violet colors, and all of a sudden you start to see that the sun's rays coming up, and it's just like the actual brightness of the sky starts to happen. It's one of the tween times, one of the magical times, and I'm drawn to the 11th to the 13th, 14th of July. For some reason, Spirit's just like there's this one finger, and it just keeps going from the 11th to the 14th of July, the 11th to the 14th of July, and they're showing me this light, this new dawning, and this light coming into your life then, and it's like you're going to see the final data that you need, and the final pieces of the puzzle are going to come together right before that, like the 8th, 9th, 10th, and I feel like it never needs to be, I'm going to dot the I and cross the T, and I'm done with that, and I'm filing that over there, been there, done that, and then I feel like that you're going on a whole new life excursion, a whole new, it's like I'm ready for this. I'm going to embrace this. Not unlike when someone would actually graduate school, start nursing school, graduate medical school, be a doctor, decide to go into the armed forces. Like, this is big. This is like a big, I'm going to do this. Like if all of a sudden I just picked up from Tennessee and decided I was going to move to Italy or I was going to move to France. It's like a big thing. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
So emotionally, this is big for you. This is like I'm going to embrace this, and I need this big momentum. I need this paradigm shift in my life, and I feel like that you're up for the task, you're ready for it, and it's like your turn. It's your turn to do this. It's really got a lot of great branches coming out from it.
Okay. All right.
Does that help?
All right. Well, thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you. Let us know.
It's okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Michael.
It's big emotions, big inner child stuff. You weren't playing. Oh
no. And he got the sun card. Today's the 19th, and he got the 19th. He got the sun card. So this could be involving leaving something very familiar, even in his intimate life, and going into really the partner that he knows he needed to be with.
We've been talking about that earlier this week. I haven't uploaded the archives, but now I have to because, we've done Mary's show, and people, God, tomorrow, he's like, where's the show at? Where's the show at? Don't worry.
They pester me too, Joe.
Yeah,
they pester me too.
I'll get it up there, but it's like, I was talking about this with Dan the other night. I was like, when all this chaos and stuff that's going around, when you love somebody, you've got to, it doesn't matter if it's a stranger, you've got to be able to identify the inner child in them, but also treat them as, don't let them run over you at the same time, but still
That's right.
identify the inner child in everybody,
And your inner child.
Exactly. Yeah.
Both of you, because I'll put it to you this way. A therapist, when I was doing my psychological studies, she was blending it with metaphysics, and she says when two people come together in an attraction, and we all have been in and out of attractions, I'm like, okay. She goes, here's a really good formula for you. And she said, when you first start that attraction point between you and another person, I said, okay. And she said, this is really the meat and potatoes of the psychological formula. And I'm like, I'm all ears, because I don't like to waste my time. And she said, there's 6 people coming together psychologically. And I'm like, bloom it out. And she's like, okay, there's you that was affected by the dynamics of your mother as an inner child. She said, okay, so that's you and your mother. That's 2. Are you with me so far? And I said, yeah. She goes, then there's you and the plus or minus and the dynamics of what you got or didn't get with your father. So we're up to 3 now, right? And I said, yep, I'm with you. And she goes, and then there's your partner, the one you're attracted to, and how they've been plus or minus damaged or enhanced by their dad. Now, so there's them. There comes 4, 5, and then the same thing with their dad. So there's 6 people that are coming together initially, and that dynamic that's going on unconsciously for people that don't study the afterburn effects of what we're not blaming our parents. It's just you got to look at the storybook. You got to look at the fairy tale. In my childhood, this was a plus, this was a minus. I can love them. I can forgive them. I don't need to carry on the big story all the time and keep going back there all the time and repicking the scab. But I want to look at the data of this is what I got from my dad that was good. This is what was difficult about my dad. Yep. Okay, got to look at that and how I'm dancing with that or what I need to break up with. And this is what was easy about my mom, and this was, I had so many of those. This is what was not easy in dealing with my mother, and I got to deal with that because when we leave it unconscious, you can be, I'll just use a heterosexual example. You can be a female that's attracting the psychological landscape and components of your difficulties with your mother in a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can all of a sudden go, oh crap, these are the very issues I deal with my mother, and here's a very heterosexual male, and I'm in an intimacy with the male, and it's the same crap that I faced with my mother, and now I got it in him. So once you recognize it, then you're able to not let the dynamic take place. So then you don't react as the inner child to that person that's playing a parental role. Then you have better communication, and you can say to them, tell me how I can understand you better in this situation. We've all, tell me how I can understand you better in this dynamic. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm not here to get hurt. Make no mistake about it. So
people that love you are going to listen to that when you say stuff like that.
And teach me how I can reach you. Yeah, tell me a better way that I can understand you. Trust me, I care enough about you. I'm all ears. I'm listening. I'm not on my phone. I'm not scrolling. I'm not on Instagram or TikTok. You have my full undivided attention because you matter. I matter. It matters. And she told me you have to get to that formula. You matter. I matter, it matters. I mean, she goes, and then the ghost of your past, the parental infection goes away. It's a virus and it's an infection and it's automatic pilot. Yeah. Why? Because that's the first male or female or female or what, the first guardians that influenced you and helped formulate your perceptions, your deceptions, and your beliefs. Or what you broke up with on your belief. I don't trust you. I don't believe what you believe anymore because you hurt me. So then we resist it. And in Buddhism, they'll teach you what you resist, persist.
Now, I think there's a lot of people coming together to heal too.
Absolutely. I'm excited about, listen, it's an intense year. We all know that, but I am so excited that Spirit is like shaking the foundation of our trunk, of our trees, and our roots. And Cancer is the roots of everything that got us to this point. So I'm telling you people, this is the absolute, I'm doing my work again too. I do a revise every year when I get to Cancer the Crab. I'm going to go check in with myself in meditation. Okay, where am I at right now at this juncture in my biological dance? How am I right now with I'm going to go into a meditation. Spirit, show me what I need to know about the dynamics of the male figure, the one that played the patriarch, the one that played the matriarch. Maybe only had one parent that did both, And I do an upgrade on it. I just do a meditation on it. It's like tuning up a car.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a show on this because there's people. I mean, we're just gonna have to do a show on this. We got like 2 minutes. I don't know if we can take this call or not. Can you do one in like a minute, Mary?
I can.
Right. Let's see, 808 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina real quick. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, Mary. It is Karen over in Maui. Yes, I just want to say hey to all my sea stars and all my friends back in Arkansas. And I just wanted to call and get a quick what you're feeling with the energies right now with me. Like you pull a card, just something that you're feeling, anything.
Okay, I got vulnerability. I feel like I see like candles levitating, and I see like a fae spirit, like a fairy spirit floating very safely, very securely on a big old leaf, because she's a little fey creature, so she's a miniature, she's a little person, and she's floating very safely. So even though she's feeling vulnerable, nature's got her. Nature's got her back. She's protected. You're in a very safe place. And in the tarot deck and the Morgan Greer deck, what I got was the Knight of Pentacles. So I feel like you're a work in progress right now, and I feel like some things are coming together that are going to spell relief for you, and even in the material world too. I see a comeback of some kind. I see something bouncing back and being okay.
Thank you.
Excellent. Karen. Thank you so much. Mahalo. Thank you guys. You guys are great. Your show's awesome. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, honey. Appreciate that. Thank you for your support.
Right now.
She'll let you come see her.
Man, I need a dadgum vacation, really.
Do. Well, it's coming. Okay, now did you hear what you just said? Your inner child wants a vacation. So now you're manifesting that.
Bad. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Cancer the Crab. And so you know how kids, like when they get out of school, it's like, now I was the little kid that was like, oh my God, I'm out of school. I'm going to have to go on a vacation with my parents of where they want to go. So, it's that long car ride. It was always beach to the mountains, mountains to the beach to the mountains. So it's just like all I thought about was getting the hell out of the car so I could get back into nature. So my inner child did not like long car trips, but I made the most of it once I got outside that cage.
Well,
so your inner child wants a vacation.
I hope this helps. I know this helps some people. I know it. I know this is big.
Listen,
for a lot of people.
We could do a show. We could do a show even astrologically about the inner child and the parental aspect of each sign, because I took 10 years and did like rebirthing training. The Sandra Ray book is a great book. If you guys can go on the internet, I don't even know if they've got stuff on YouTube, but Sandra Ray did like one of the iconic books on rebirthing the inner child and coming to know how to parent yourself. And I'm telling you, when you do that work for yourself, with yourself, oh my God, locks come off of cages psychologically. It is fabulous, and it incorporates like kind of breathing, deep breathing, almost to the point of hyperventilating in a safe space, though, with your own music and your own meditation. And it's just like you can feel it go click, 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 and the keys go in the locks, and you're unlocked.
Well, we got to wrap this up, Mary. We're at the top. We're past time. So
cool.
I just think this was one of the biggest with the eclipses. This is huge for a lot of people. I know we didn't get a ton of callers, but the information I think was really important.
The information was more important, so they can let it filter down. They can listen to the archive, and they can actually. It's like we've got homework. We've all got homework. So more than just quick flippant messages. What Spirit's saying to us is that we all really need to, as void walkers, as light beings, it's time for us to recalibrate, and it's time for us to do our work, because that is the best use of this eclipse and this solstice, Joe. It is. We're going to get magic, and we're going to get the right kind of medicine if we just do the work right now. It's a very serious eclipse.
Thank you for doing this, Mary. I got to go now. So you guys, I can't say the spill, but thank you all. Love you. Have a good weekend. Take care of yourselves, and take care of each other too when you get a chance.
On this program do not necessarily reflect those of the Fringe FM, KTLK Digital Broadcasting, its sponsors, affiliates, or staff. Listener discretion is advised.